So,
Big Island, yeah.
how many of you have
side.
considered starting your own team or at least starting your own brand? Everybody. Awesome. How many of you know the rules about
No.
That's why I'm here.
So we're going to cover all that because I want you to build whatever it is you want to build to take your life where you want to go, but I also want you to do it in compliance with the laws. So we're going to cover that among other things, so that you can start building and growing your own brand. I am recording this, Jamie, so you don't have to if you don't want. All right, so we're going to cover full disclosure, what that means, right? We're going to cover advertising your own team name. We're going to cover listing requirements, website requirements, and then we'll cover our own firm procedures so that we can help facilitate your compliance with all these rules. Because the fines and fees can be pretty hefty. So we've seen fines as big as 10 grand for missteps on this kind of stuff. So we don't want you to get that. We certainly aren't going to pay it on your behalf. So the best for both of us is to just avoid those, right? All right. So it's Washington Administrative Code, or WAC, you'll hear people refer it, 308-124B-210, that governs all of this stuff, right? So if you want, you can go to the dol.wa.gov website. You can download copies of it, you can read it, you can become familiar with it. But here's what it says. Disclosure of the firm's and the broker's or managing broker's licensed name should be prominently displayed and easily understood and be no more than one click away from the viewable page. So think about how many website pages you have, and you need to have, at the very least, a link that takes you to your firm name being prominently displayed. Does that make sense?
Our landing pages are all taken care of.
If you're using V4 pages, they all are branded properly, right? Even if you click on the little unbranded checkbox within V4 when you're creating your page, we call that bikini branding because it's just a little thing at the bottom that says information provided courtesy of Hometown Advisor Real Estate. Right?
Does that constitute prominently displayed?
Yes. Yes. Well, I even, in our listing presentation, if you watch those videos, you'll hear me say to a seller, hey, we even have a website called freenwrealtyinfo.org. What does .org mean to you? And they always say, oh, nonprofits or organization or I don't know. And then you explain what it is, and you point out that at the bottom it discloses the firm name, but the average consumer never goes all the way to the bottom. Right? All right. So, well, how do you do that like on an Instagram post? How can you be one click away?
If they click on your home,
Just tag Hometown Advisor in your Instagram post. Right?
I mean, any social media posts?
Any social media. Yeah.
You need to add,
Do you notice when I post on Facebook, I always say I'm at Hometown Advisor Real Estate. That creates a hyperlink that people can click on, and then I'm one click away.
So I'm probably breaking a lot of rules every time I share or post something without.
If your Facebook page prominently displays your firm name, you could argue you're one click away also because they can click on your name.
Well, on my business page, then I guess they could, right?
Right.
so
Maybe not on my personal. I'm just sharing, I don't know.
Do you have a question, Jamie?
So even for pending, any sale, anything we post, we need to add the firm name.
Yeah.
Okay, didn't do that
Ron.
before.
Is it using hashtag, would that suffice as well? Or
No,
does it have to be
because a
at?
hashtag is not a link.
Does it has to be at?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Great question, though. You notice there's a bunch of hashtags in there, but Hometown Advisor RE is an @ sign. And that's because Hometown Advisor RE has an Instagram profile, and so you're tagging that profile.
So,
Yeah.
Yes, Robin?
So I'm a little confused. So the WAC says that it needs to be one click away, but maybe sure you'll correct me if I'm wrong. The MLS says that the logo of the firm needs to be prominently displayed on the front page.
No, the MLS doesn't say that.
Okay.
The MLS doesn't care about your logo. The only logo the MLS cares about are the 3 trees logo, which you have to prominently display anywhere that you display listings. But we're not covering that in this video. The good news is your buyer page through V4 has an IDX feed, that stands for Internet Data Exchange, and that includes the 3 trees logo, so you're covered. And just in general, Robin, the DOL's rules trump the MLS rules.
I understand.
You don't want to break either rule, but
Yeah, I thought
Treat-
that if you name, like, if you name your company one thing, the brokerage that, and you have logo, and the brokerage that you work for has their logo, that the brokerage logo is the one that needs to be prominently displayed. I could have sworn they said that.
yeah, I'm gonna interrupt you because of 2 reasons. One, that's not quite accurate, and 2, we're gonna cover that specifically.
Okay.
All right? And then if that doesn't make it more clear, then we'll talk about it while the information's on the screen.
so I
Janice, you have a
missed
question.
the part of it. I just want to make sure. So basically, if I just put the house and put a pending, I cannot post. Is that correct?
It's a violation of the DOL's advertising rules.
But where is yours, Hometown Advisor? So if I say add Hometown Advisor, that's good enough?
That's all you gotta do. Yep.
Or even if you're just one click away by clicking on your name and it goes to something that shows that.
Yeah, in Facebook, your name is a hyperlink, right? That's why I made that comment. In Instagram, it is as well.
What about for our Chinese WeChat? Do we still need to add this?
You need to have your firm name in your WeChat profile.
You see, we just, I just want to make sure we don't violate anything.
Me
So-
too.
You make
So-
us nervous. You've been
Good.
closing
Good, yeah.
things.
Be nervous.
You're more
Be
likely
sorry.
So
to,
this
Better to
is
be
my,
nervous than to be sorry.
So if I have that on top of my profile, so everything I post should be okay, right?
Yeah.
Because I expose, I said Hometown Advisor.
yeah, is it, like, it's covered by the Chinese characters, but does it say real estate under, is it this logo?
Yeah, that's the logo.
Yeah. Yeah, this, I mean, Robin's comment about the logo, I want to clarify that it isn't the logo they're concerned with, it's the firm name. Our logo has the firm name in it, so you can just use the logo for your postings, right?
So we can use the logo. So let's say I post a picture and then every time I just post the logo picture.
If you put the logo in the photo,
Yes, yes.
sure, you can do it that way. If I were you, I would do this though,
Just add.
because it gets you more engagement, right?
I mean,
Because you're exposing it to the company's feed, which gives it greater exposure.
So any post like this should be okay, because that's all I post.
Yeah,
This
as long
is
as you have
forever.
that at the top.
Yes.
Yeah.
This also.
I'm not, this will be the last one I look at. And I was gonna say no to looking at it because then I saw that it didn't look like it complied. But yes, I see at the bottom here, you have Hometown Advisor RE Bellevue, Washington.
Do you think it's better to put a logo or?
As the firm owner, I would love for you to put the logo because we want to get it more recognized.
Yeah.
Yeah, but don't misunderstand. All we bottom line care about is that you comply with the law, and this does comply with the law. Does that sound reasonable?
Is that
Love you to
like-
promote the firm. It's wise to just link the firm because it solves the DOL issue and gets you more exposure. Enough about that, I guess.
Is this a JPEG and you just put your picture and a tag up there at the top?
What do you mean?
Like where your picture is and it says Miller Lane follow, I think.
That is a screenshot from Instagram.
Oh.
So if you go into Instagram and click on any post, this is what it looks like when you open it, right? If you're looking at it through your news feed, the photo is at the top and the text is at the bottom, but the text is the same. It'll have your handle and a link to
I
follow.
don't use Instagram, so I have an account, but yeah, okay.
Are you big on Instagram?
No, mostly Facebook.
Yeah.
I should do more on Instagram.
It's, thank you so much, Jay. Sorry to burden you with that, but I appreciate it. All right, so any other questions about social media and postings and making sure you tag the firms?
So basically, WeChat or Facebook, as long as I want advertising something related to housing, I have to use that as my personal one. I don't need to use that,
Personal
right?
law.
Yeah, if you're not posting for real estate,
Okay,
has nothing to do with your firm, your business,
okay.
right? The dilemma that you have,
Yeah.
for those of you that don't know, Selena is also a general contractor. So most of your postings would require this because you're a GC, you're talking about real estate, well, your license is, what the law says is you have to communicate full disclosure anytime you're holding yourself out to perform licensed services. And really, if you think about it, even if you're just saying, hey, look at this flip we just finished,
Yeah.
people are gonna go, can I buy it? And now you crossed the line there.
I see.
So I just put a video of showing some property.
Yeah,
At that point, I should have added, and I put it on my personal, like, people ask me what I did for my birthday,
yeah.
here's what I did with
Show
some property.
houses, yeah.
And I
But if the
mentioned company.
DOL were to come down on you,
Uh-huh.
number one, when I said earlier that we don't pay your fines, that doesn't mean that I'm not gonna defend you vigorously, all right? We do that, we do it well, and we win most of the time. If that were to come up, we would just argue that, yeah, click on Jay's name in that post. You are now one click away from seeing her firm name. As long as your personal page says, works at Hometown Advisor Real Estate. In most of these social media platforms, if you click on the poster's name, it takes you to their profile. So just make sure all your profiles, including WeChat and Instagram and Facebook and any others, have your firm name in it. Yes, ma'am.
So when people sold the house, can we take pictures when we preview the house? Can we take picture and then post?
When you preview it, no.
We know, we
Not
can't-
without the permission of that
of that
agent, that designated broker, I should say, not the agent.
Oh, because
You
I
can't
s-
promote other people's listings.
Because I saw some agent, they post on Facebook, oh, this is how I'm previewing this house.
Yeah,
The
if it's your
picture-
listing, you could file a complaint against them with the MLS.
How about once the deal's closed and you're the.
Then you have the
seller,
right to promote it.
say, just for this house.
Yep. I can promote any sold house. Like you've ever seen those mailings where you send it to a neighborhood and you say 18 homes sold in your neighborhood in the last 30 days or whatever. That's all legal because I'm not promoting that house being for sale without the permission of the DB because it's already sold.
And sometimes I did see people say, I found this house and send a listing, it's not their listing, but name showing their name, share on social media, that means.
Yeah, that's a violation. If it's their own name, not the listing.
Because then they share through the home stuff, then it becomes their name
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah.
Would that be?
That would be a violation. There's a big difference between emailing a listing through HomeSnap to a client and promoting a listing on Facebook through HomeSnap.
Oh,
That's the difference. The second one is a violation of the MLS rules. You can't just go around promoting houses because you think it's cool. You can send them to specific clients, right? But if you're gonna do a marketing anything of the house that's not your listing, you gotta get the written permission of the DB. And if it's one of my listings and an outside broker were to inquire, it's an automatic no. And I'm not unique. Most DBs have the same position because they want their own agents to be able to market it, not everybody else.
But if we promote the listings from our firm, that's the
You have carte blanche permission from us to promote any of our listings.
But that sometimes it's kind of confusing. Let's say for one listing, suddenly, in Facebook, people see from Jay, from Jamie, from me, from Doris, from you,
Right.
the same listing with so many different people.
How is that a bad thing?
Is that a good thing?
It's a great thing.
That many more people
Right.
through all of
'Cause
our
what
sphere of
you-
influences are
For
seeing it,
sure.
right?
What you're thinking, see, you're friends with all of us, right? So you see all of us post it. What you're not realizing is the only people that see my post are my friends, right? You happen to be one of them, but I have almost 5,000 friends on Facebook. So you want me to post that, and you want Jamie to do the same thing, and Selena to do the same thing, and Rona to do the same thing, right? The consumer is unlikely to see all of our posts, the typical consumer. And if they did, who cares? They saw your listing 5 times, it's now stuck in their head, they're gonna be talking about it to people, that's a good thing. All right,
Just add of note is that the DCMA kind of comes in there too.
yeah,
Yeah, just as a side note.
that's a tangent I'm not gonna go on. All of our listings are DCMA compliant, so the MLS protects all of you from copyright infringement, right? Can you still create your own risk of copyright infringement? Absolutely. We're going to talk about some of the ways people run into that today. All right, so enough about that. Your email signature is another great example. Most of you have your firm name in your email signature, but about once a month I get an email from one of our own brokers that's missing it. So just check yours. You know, sometimes it's an oversight, like if you go on vacation, you know how you can Google Gmail, you can switch to a vacation signature or an autoresponder, and that signature might not have, just double check everything, right? You'll see at the end, we actually encourage you to double check all your stuff once a month anyway, to make sure that you're compliant. Jay?
So she's got a company name, Seattle Top Properties or whatever it is, and she has changed, she hasn't, but if she has changed it to Janice@SeattleTopProperties.com,
Change her email?
could she do that?
Sure.
Could she have a separate one? But you're saying
You
that
can use any email you want. Your email signature, though, has to have her firm name.
Yeah.
her email
Yeah.
signature,
Yeah.
got it.
And it can have your personal branded name as well.
Yep, we're going to cover that for sure. That, I think, is the biggest thing that people want to take from this is how can I promote the Selena team or whatever, right? We'll cover that for sure. So just back to Jay's question, though, you can use any email you want. Make sure you use the firm name in the email signature. And if you have a team name, you can add that as well. Most of what we email out is going to go to your hometown advisor email address, though. So if you use a secondary email, make sure all that stuff gets forwarded so you don't miss anything. Okay?
So then we should set up our personal email signature and have the firm name there.
Yeah, you can do that. Right?
Just don't want
How about text messaging?
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten a text message from an agent that says, from Susie Smith at Windermere East? That's compliant. Have you ever gotten a text message from me that just says, don't miss our meeting? And it doesn't say hometown advisor at the end. Is that not compliant? Arun says yes, he thinks it's non-compliant.
No, it is compliant.
It is compliant.
Well, you're texting us, right?
I can text anybody, actually. Provided that you've provided full disclosure through some other written format and before providing or offering to provide licensed services. So the most common example is you're texting a client, right? Well, you made full disclosure when you kicked off that relationship.
Yeah.
One way or another. You probably sent an email at the very least, right?
Through the opt-in process, through them finding you on Facebook, there's all those.
Those are all going to comply with full disclosure, which would then allow SMS texting. So the state understands that this is, you know, a really efficient way to communicate, and adding a big signature to it makes it less efficient. So they're good with, as long as you disclose in another way. So a mistake would be, I meet Susie at Safeway, she gives me her number, all of this is verbal, and then I text her 10 minutes later with, hey, look, I want to show you this house. Right? That would actually, I wouldn't have made full disclosure at that point, so I would be in conflict with the law.
Well, if you'd met someone and you were gonna do that, you'd probably be talking real estate, you'd probably give her your card, which
Right.
your card has all the compliant information, so
Exactly.
that would, then you'd be covered under that, right?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
Craigslist post, put your, I either get emails or calls or texts. And typically what I do is if I can't get a hold of them and I text them back, I just type in my name, email address, and the firm name. But if
That's a good one.
if a Craigslist ad comes in and they text me, hey, can I see this property, or is this still available? I need to disclose with the signature.
You should put your firm name in that first response. Yeah.
I usually do, because
Yeah.
that way they know who I am and they got an email. And
Yeah. I think, because aren't they searching in the represented by brokers section
Yeah,
of Craigslist?
I mean, that's where I post all my Craigslist.
Yeah,
so
so your firm name is in that anyway.
I never thought of that before today.
Yeah.
So just, I don't think
It's
I'm.
good though, that's the point of this training, right, is to heighten your awareness and pay attention to this stuff so that we don't run afoul of it. Justin?
So what I found is that it's easier for me to get contact information if I meet somebody and I don't have a business card on me. So, oh gosh, I don't carry business cards, what's your number, I'll shoot you a text.
Add your firm name to that text.
Well, I just sent you a text, this is usually what I follow up with. I'll send them, hey, I just want to make sure that,
There it is.
because the 4 miracles,
Great
that's,
to connect, Ed. This is Justin with Hometown Advisor 253-312. Yeah, I would add real estate
okay.
to the end, because Hometown Advisor is a truncated version of our firm name.
Do I need the RE LLC in there then?
You don't have to have the LLC, but you need the RE,
Okay. I can do
because the
that.
license law actually says it has to reflect your firm name as on your license.
So what I normally do, whenever I establish the relationship, I always text my electronic business card, and I say, here is my information.
Perfect.
So that way you
Yeah.
have everything there.
Because that falls under the one click away thing, right? You know, a VCF file, you guys have seen those, virtual card, those are wonderful because they're one click away from everything. Jay, you were going to ask something else.
Yeah, I forgot.
All right. If it comes back, you let me know. All right, so full disclosure is not required in instant messaging as long as it was done previously. All right? What if I want to advertise my team? The Elliott Hull team, right? Here's what the law says. A firm must operate under their firm name or an assumed name as licensed. What is an assumed name?
So the DBA?
Exactly. Have you guys ever heard of a DBA, doing business as? That's what, in the real estate vernacular, that's what the DOL calls an assumed name. The distinction is as licensed. So the Janice Kai team, when she advertises that, she has to include the firm name. If she goes to the DOL and registers that name, then she doesn't need to have the Hometown Advisor name on there any longer.
Wait, you can register your own DBA under Hometown Advisor?
Yep.
How do you do that?
You go to dol.wa.gov and fill out the paperwork. It requires our approval, and when you've done it, it belongs to the firm.
Do you then still have to
Okay.
put both?
No, once you've done that, you no longer have to have
You
Hometown
know,
Advisor.
you don't, okay.
Yeah, in fact, let me just kind of get all this out.
Because you're your own
Yeah.
And
Right.
just,
entity at that point.
discloses Coldwell Banker.
All advertising or solicitations without limitation for brokerage services to include internet-based advertising, web pages, email, newspaper, and other visual media must include firm name or an assumed name as licensed. Brokers, managing brokers, advertising using a name, title, or brand without obtaining an assumed name license must. So if I'm gonna use that brand name without getting it registered, then I also have to display the firm's license name or the firm's license assumed name in a clear and conspicuous manner in conjunction with the use of such name, title, or brand. So the Janice Kai team is totally acceptable without even telling the state, as long as you also put Hometown Advisor Real Estate underneath it. You also can't put the Janice Kai Team LLC because they don't want you to imply that it's its own unique entity. So even if Janice formed an LLC,
oh,
she can't put LLC on there. Does that make sense? They also don't want you to have in your team name these words, realty, realtor, firm, or real estate. It's not on there, you can use it.
Okay, so it's just those four?
Those four, yeah. So think about, Lucas and Cameron both came up with a bunch of names, many of which include these, and they were all out because of that. Right? So the Janice Kai team, the Elliott Hull team, those are no-brainers and easy.
I was wondering why they didn't put a lot of that.
Scott Feichner Real Estate would be a no-no,
Right.
right?
Realty, anything, so.
And if you think about the way these are written, it really stems from not wanting to mislead the consumer. That really is sort of the core of all of these rules. They don't want you to sort of snowball the consumer into doing something they wouldn't have otherwise done, and they think this is contributory towards that hoax, for lack of a better word, right? If it's Scott Feichner Realty, they think you're your own company, and now your credibility is enhanced because you own your own company, and now they're more likely to do what you ask, and it sort of spirals from there. Right?
I'm not a real doctor, I just play one on TV.
Right. If you're going to do all these things, you also need to receive advance written approval from the firm's DB to use an unlicensed title or brand. So that's something we haven't done with our teams. So we just need to put a letter together and authorize that.
So if we have an LLC outside of, outside of our name or outside of it wouldn't be the Elliott Hull team, but it would be something that Elliott came up with, LLC, to run his real estate taxes and business
Yeah.
through. So then, if we wanted, or even one that I did, if I wanted to do Future Home Real Estate LLC, I license that with the state, then what would you, the Future Home team, is that what how would you comply with the
Yeah.
LLC portion and your team portion
It
of
would
this?
be up to you to decide how you wanted to characterize it. Janice might own Seattle Top Properties LLC, but she operates as the Janice Kai team.
So would
She
you just
couldn't be Seattle Top Properties LLC because you can't have LLC on the,
But she could be Seattle Top Properties, a hometown advisor team.
yeah,
Or even just Seattle Top Properties?
period.
If she did the DBA.
No.
Okay.
Like,
I feel like I need a whiteboard now.
licensed and unlicensed. Unlicensed is what we're talking about, not the DBA.
Okay.
Janice can call her team whatever she wants as long as she gets the prior written approval from the DB and includes Hometown Advisor Real Estate when she brands and markets and does anything.
Got it.
if she goes to the state and licenses the DBA, now she doesn't need the hometown advisor real estate part of it. Right?
Right, but she gives up she has to get the DBA through Hometown Advisor, right? And Hometown Advisor owns that name.
Right, right.
Okay, so then the next step is she has an LLC, wants to run a team, then what did she do?
No, that is that step. That's what I just described. She has Seattle Top Properties LLC, and she goes and registers it with the state as a DBA of Hometown Advisor Real Estate. Now she can market Seattle Top Properties LLC.
Without giving up the name to Hometown though.
I didn't say that. The law requires she gave up the name to us.
Right, and so what I'm asking is how would she do it without that?
Never register it and always have Hometown Advisor on the marketing.
So if let's say.
Well, I want to make sure he understood that, and then I definitely want to answer yours. If you're possessive of Seattle, she's been marketing Seattle Top Properties for 3 or 4 years now, right? So she doesn't want to give that to us.
Right.
So she would be wise to not register it, because then she would have to give it to us.
So when you say register it, you mean even forming an LLC around it?
No. Licensing it as a DBA through the
That's what I'm talking
DOL.
about. Got you.
She
Okay.
formed it already.
You were
with-
using the, yeah, copy that, boom. When you were saying licensing it, I kept thinking
Yeah,
licensing it under the LLC.
yeah, no.
And
I'm
then-
saying it that way because that's how they say it, which maybe I shouldn't, because it is a little confusing.
Yeah.
You want to license it under your own LLC, not under Hometown Advisor.
Right. But you give up the trade name.
But
to-
to DBA, yeah.
Now, fast forward 27 years, when Janice finally says, you know what, I'm gonna leave, would we hang on to it?
Yeah, you just authorize it.
No, but 27 years from now, who knows? Maybe it's really valuable and we want you to buy it. I mean, I wouldn't give up the rights to it. I would just mark it as a team on Hometown Adventure.
On part of Hometown Advisor.
Somebody else might want to buy it and pay big money for it.
My question would be,
BBD does, the underwear guy?
my website would be Seattle Top Properties.
Yep.
And I can use that website to promote myself and my team.
Yep.
But I will always put Hometown Advisor on it. So that way I don't need to go to Department of Licensing to get a real estate license.
Yep.
And I still own that LLC and the website
And the
without,
name and everything.
without, future.
Right, no confusion about who owns it. It's all yours. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how I do it.
The key part of what she just said, just for everybody, is she can do all that stuff and not give up any rights as long as she puts on the site Hometown Advisor Real Estate. So it's really, you go through this if you're just hell-bent on not having to mention the firm, right? So, firms may obtain from the DOL an assumed name license. The assumed name license may be the firm's DBA, or it may be the name of a team of brokers licensed to the firm. There's no limit on the number of assumed name licenses a firm may obtain. The assumed name license is owned by the firm. The obligation to include the firm's licensed name on all advertising is satisfied by use of any assumed name duly licensed to the firm. That's the way that law reads. That's what we just finished discussing, right? The key is the firm would own the rights to it, but it does solve the obligation to disclose the firm name because you're disclosing the assumed name. So that's clear in everybody's head, right? So think about your business where it is today, where you want to take it, and what's going to help you get there, right? I mean, we've designed our firm so that you can build whatever the heck you want, right? You can be just an agent that sells a ton of homes and makes a nice living. You can be an agent that builds a team. You can be an agent that opens their own branch. We want you to just decide what your career path is, and then we're going to help you get there. All right? Any questions on that before we move on? All right. So, which of these would be okay? Number 3? Anyone else?
You can't do real estate, you can't do LLC.
The Lane team.
Do we see the hometown at the bottom, or just those boxes?
Just a box.
Oh,
The Lane team.
the lane?
That's the only one, right?
Mhm.
Can't do that, can't do that, but you can do that.
But if you also you register this Department of Licensing, the LLC as real estate, then you can use the first one, right?
Yep.
Wait, you can
The
use
first
it,
one, but not the second one.
I
Yeah.
thought you couldn't have LLC.
If you register it as an assumed name, you could.
But how about?
You only, the LLC exclusion on that previous slide was only if you were not gonna have an assumed name.
So how about these two?
Yeah, that's not compliant, but the flyer is because you disclosed your.
So we cannot use that picture separately,
Yeah.
individually, right?
I would just have a version that has our logo
Yeah,
in
yeah,
it.
that's, okay,
You know, you can have a version that doesn't as long as it's in the context of something else.
okay.
All right? So everyone's clear on this, right? Did this discussion change anyone's plans?
My dream plans.
Your dream?
Yeah, I don't want to give up my name to you.
Scott Feichner.
Whatever.
I'm gonna trademark that.
Whatever it is,
Yeah.
whatever it's gonna be, yeah.
All right.
Probate baseball.
So now let's talk about listings. How many of you knew that you're responsible for making sure the listings are displayed properly on your website? That's kind of scary, right? Because you don't do anything to put them there. But the law actually says when a listing expires, you have to remove it, you have to give ample notice in writing, and all these things. The good news is, the IDX feed that we plug into your V4 site excludes all statuses except active. And so we end up complying because of that. That's really why, right? Don't market other brokerages listings without permission from the other firm's DB. We talked about that, right? Thankfully, the IDX feed covers all this for us. The IDX feed also covers the DCMA, DCMA.
And what if there is a glitch and something remains on some obscure, homes.com website and it hasn't come down yet, or the price is wrong, or...
Yeah, we've had that happen. Usually it's not a DOL complaint, it's a seller that says, hey, why is my house still on obscurehomes.com? And we don't know why, and we don't have control over their site, so we can't take it down. And some sellers don't accept that answer. I mean, in the end, technology is fallible, right? So we have to do everything possible to comply, and if called in front of a board or a court of some sort, when you demonstrate that you've taken every precaution and it's a technological glitch, you're going to be probably let off the hook. And we have had that happen.
Write a disclaimer like that down kind of below the DCMA line that what you just said was beautiful.
Well, if you click on the DCMA link, it takes you to the disclaimer page.
I mean, put an extra line underneath that that would actually have a disclaimer that you write in yourself.
No, I mean, it's happened 3 times in 15 years while selling thousands of properties, so I'm not that worried about the isolated incident.
Just blame it on the Russians.
Right, we got hacked. All right. Websites, all right. So all sites have to have full disclosure or at least be one click away. We've covered that pretty well. I think all of the V4 sites have that. If you're looking at other third-party sites, most of them will have already understood the local laws and complied with them, but it's your responsibility, so you would be wise to double check before you take anything live, right? Janice could take Seattle Top Properties and point it at another website, and then all of a sudden she's out of compliance and gets fined or in trouble. Right? The rules also say that you can't hold yourself out as being licensed in some specialty that you are not. The example they give is their laundry list of licenses. Like, I'm not a welder, and I'm not a plumber, and I'm not a whatever. I don't think any of you are doing that. Selena's probably the closest thing, because you should have a link on your pages that take you to your general contracting website. And that's okay, because she's licensed in both. I have a mortgage license. If I wanted to do loans, I can. I don't. Right?
But can you have a link to other website is not license related from your, let's say, in my SeattleTopProperties.com, I have a link to other website which is not licensed.
What is it?
Let's say
does
use,
it require a license?
let's say use Jackie. He has a travel agency. Then he wants to put the travel agency's link in his website. Would that be legal? Or
Does he have a license to run a travel agency?
I don't know.
Then yes. You could put a link to his travel agency on your site, because you're not holding yourself out as a travel agent.
No.
You're just saying, here's a preferred vendor, right? And then Jackie is licensed, so as long as it's,
Yeah, I just want to make sure.
they
I
just don't
understand
want
that.
you saying, call me if you want to book a trip to Paris, or buy a house, or have me fix your plumbing, right? There's people that do that. They call themselves handymen, or women.
And they're licensed in nothing.
And they're licensed in nothing, right?
Master.
Jack of all trades, master
But
of
in
none.
our website, we can have, let's say, preferred vendor
Thought that sounded better than a
section and
master
put
of
all
none.
the links. We are not.
Yeah, you can link to other people's sites. You just can't portray to the public that you provide that service.
Okay.
Okay?
It's preferred.
Right, preferred vendor links are kind of a common thing. All right? You can't market properties that are outside of where you're licensed. Now, in other states, they might not have that rule, so that's why you might see Washington Properties on a Missouri agent's page, but we'll never show a Missouri property on our pages because our state doesn't allow that unless we have a Missouri license.
It's so funny. A friend of mine sent me a property information, and she got from some people in China. And she said, "This property looks so familiar with my work from Inmarsat."
Oh, really? Yeah. So anybody that subscribes to the MLS's IDX feed can market those properties, right? We, as members of the MLS, just can't take other brokerages' properties and send out mailers and set up websites and do Craigslist posts, and we can't market them. But we can make their properties available to our clients through our IDX page. Justin?
You can do just listed, just sold mailings around a new listing or a sold of other brokers.
Only if it's your listing. Sold you can do, but just listed you can only do your own unless you get permission. Because you're marketing someone else's listing.
Yeah.
How about if you put the properties you sold as selling agent in your website, would that be okay?
As long as they're sold, yeah.
Pending? No.
No. Not your listing, you can't.
Only sold.
Yeah.
And you are the selling.
I can put anybody's sold,
Okay.
but I can't put anybody's listed other than my own,
Okay.
unless I get written permission.
And market properties in Belize.
Are you licensed in Belize?
But he owns it. You own it, though.
No, I have
Well, that's
an
right.
agreement with the developer that I can market properties in the United States,
So I would
in
put
that
it,
development.
I would put them on Proxio. You can't put them on our MLS.
No, not on that, but on my own personal website.
I don't know the answer to that. I would assume not. you should ask the DOL. Yeah. It's awesome that you got the right. You need to make sure that you can leverage that right. What's that, Robin? Oh, hey, Jessica. If you hold it open for them, you don't have to put their information on, but you need their written permission from their DB to hold it open.
Via email.
Email's the easiest way to get that, yeah.
Yeah, one more thing. I guess with the Belize thing, I technically wouldn't be selling it. I'd be getting a referral fee.
Okay.
So,
But you want to market it.
yeah,
So you still need to make sure you have the ability to market it in a state that you're not licensed. It may be an easy call and a quick yes, but you should make that call. So here's a potential copyright infringement problem for people. If I put John L. Scott in the meta tags in my site, I'm now siphoning off traffic from them to me, and that's copyright infringement. Most of you don't go to the trouble of putting meta tags on your sites, right? But I want you to know in case you do.
So like an SEO thing, like if you had your own website and you hired an SEO company and they thought they were doing you big favors by putting in KDub and
They're the ones too that would suggest it. This will be great. Anybody that types Keller Williams in there, they're gonna find you. That's, if I'm Keller Williams, I can sue you for copyright infringement. All right, so how do you stay on top of all this stuff? Well, you should have a habit of looking at it at least monthly, right? Anytime it's a new campaign or a new effort or new marketing system, you obviously want to double check everything to make sure it's compliant. I also need to double check it for you to make sure it's compliant. But on your ongoing systems, have a habit of checking them monthly to make sure that nothing's changed, especially when you're relying on third-party websites, right? Because they could make a change that takes you out of compliance, and they didn't realize it, neither did you. Guess who gets in trouble? You do, because you're the one that's licensed and expected to comply.
Give an example.
I get an IDX Fed buyer page from Screaming Chicken Technologies in Oklahoma, and they take off the DCMA copyright disclosure, or they leave expired listings up on my page. I'm the one that would get in trouble. Right? Or they put meta tags that say Keller Williams, John L. Scott, and Century 21 in my site.
so that'd be like if you were using like a WordPress IDX plugin, or you hired YLopo or somebody to run some kind of IDX feed, and on their feed they've taken that out, or what is? Because I see on some of other people's IDX feeds, it'll say this listing provided by Keller Williams. Is that a normal?
That's the MLS requirement.
Okay.
And that's built into the IDX feed.
Got it.
That's how they solve you're not getting the permission of the DB when you promote the IDX feed, right? But you're not going to go to every firm and get it. So they say as long as you disclose who the listing belongs to, you comply.
Yeah, in the 3 trees.
In the 3 trees, that's right.
So what do you mean 3 trees? I've heard that a couple times.
Hang on, sorry. What's that, Robin?
It's irritating if you worked with a previous firm, that if you were to go on to like Realtors or Realtor.com, and your previous firm name is there, even though you're working now with your present firm, it's really hard to get through to their customer service to have them change that.
Yeah.
The firm name.
I don't know that you should be allowed to change it because you didn't work for Hometown Advisor, when you sold that house, you worked for some other firm, right? And all the transactions belong to the firm.
No, that's not what I meant, as when somebody brings up, looks for agents or something on there, and they see that you're there, but your present firm name does not follow you to every site.
Right.
You have to make that, your intent to try to change that on all those sites.
I understand what you're saying, and I'm saying you're not, you don't necessarily have the right to change it. Because you didn't work there. You didn't work for your new firm when you sold that house. All you should care about is when you pull a report on how many homes you sold, that it's accurate, regardless of how many firms you worked for. And that's how the MLS database works. It'll pull all of your sales. All right? So you're going to periodically check the stuff that you have online and offline. You can do that monthly. Now, what do we do to help you comply? Well, all you do is complete this questionnaire. When you start a new campaign, all you have to do is fill out pages 2 and 3 and send it to me. Hey, here's what I want to do, copy of it's attached. And then I'll make sure it's compliant and I'll give you our approval. We're not trying to make it difficult, but it's necessary so that we all stay out of hot water, right? We had a letter that was going out that didn't say at the bottom, if your home is currently listed, this is not intended to solicit that listing. That's a huge problem.
Wait, it did or did not?
It did not.
At least, yeah.
So just little things that I'm used to looking for that you might not. And it's easier to comply than pay the fine for not complying, right?
Ignorance is no defense of the law.
All right, so just scan it to me or walk into my office, whatever. We'll keep a record of its approval. And then you're free to let it rip and hopefully it produces a massive success for you, right? So any questions on that?
How much time in advance do you need this? I mean,
I can turn them around in 24 hours. So if you're about to flip the switch, you should have already sent it to me. If you have a unique, urgent situation, just like reviewing offers, right? Shoot me a text, tell me what you need, and I'll do my best to comply.
So F, you can hold a contest. You just can't pay a referral fee for the license. There's not a licensed agent. Is that basically what that's saying?
Offering of inducements. Does the advertisement offer inducements to buyers and sellers other than inducements involving a contest, element of chance, lottery drawing, or other such mechanism by which a prize or anything of value is to be awarded based on the luck of the draw or other such limited criteria? Our attorneys have said that drawings are fraught with risk. So are you trying to do a contest?
No.
Yeah, so I wouldn't do a contest.
What about like a door, not a door prize, but a gift for the open house?
Like come to our open house for a drawing for a $25 Best Buy card or whatever.
Or the first 20 people get a gift basket and you're gonna throw in a lottery ticket.
Yeah.
So
That is allowed,
That is allowed.
absolutely.
Okay.
But, okay, but when you say, oh, buy this house and then you will receive blah, 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 what price? You can't say that, right?
I'm not sure I understand your
So
question.
when you're promoting a listing,
This is not a contest or lottery question, this is just a listing question.
this is about like you giving a gift when
Okay.
like you promote
So
this.
tell me your gift. Buy this house and I'll give you,
the boat.
Something like that, yeah.
No, but you mean like give a gift like a gift certificate or, you know, like a $20 or $500 shopping
Like
at
that.
Best Buy?
Right.
you can do that. you can't pay for referrals, but you can give an incentive for somebody to buy a house.
Just make sure.
As long as you're giving it to the person that bought the house, not
Right.
their friend that first.
Right, you
Would that
can't.
be
For the
certain
agent.
value limitation or very?
If they're a principal
Yeah,
to,
huge.
a party to the agreement, that's exactly what Mark was just saying, right? You have to give it to the buyer, can't give it to the buyer's buddy who told you about the buyer, right?
For the agent.
How about, like Jay said, if you buy the house, I give you a boat.
You could do that.
Yeah.
Can you give the gift certificate to the agent that brings them in, or just the buyer? Does it matter?
Man, we are on a rabbit trail.
We are.
What do you want to do?
She's
Well,
trying to sell us.
That's just a commission bonus.
Yeah.
That's-
Okay.
That's no
Okay.
I
problem.
mean, you guys are thinking about this all wrong. Right? Can we compensate somebody to bring you a buyer?
As long as they're a licensed real estate agent.
Yeah,
Everyone hear that?
yeah, that's true.
Does it matter if I pay them in cash or rabbits? Nope. Right?
I got
And
20
to
rabbits,
Janice's
huh?
question, can I give him, 200,000 rabbits all wearing gold watches? Yeah. You offer a commission. The commission can be whatever you want. You have to disclose it and you have to deliver it. Right? Now, I'm sure I've run afoul of some MLS rule that says you can't pay in rabbits, but you guys are overthinking it. What you have to be careful of, what you have to avoid, and we will not tolerate, is I ran into the guy at the barber shop, and he told me about a guy who's going to buy Janice's $8.5 million listing, and I'm going to make a boatload of money, so I give him $1,000 as a thank you. We will send your license back. That is a clear violation of a few different laws.
Well, you can do that as long as you haven't promised it in advance. If you'd be like, hey, you're a buddy, thanks, I appreciate what you did, here's a
No.
$50 gift.
No,
Or,
No,
can't do that.
you can't pay for referrals.
well, no, but you're not paying for it, you're just,
Thank you
just-
gift.
you're just
Pay
giving him
for
a thank you
referrals.
gift.
Right,
You're not
up
saying
to
that, you're not saying ahead of
$25. You can
time.
give gifts up to $25.
So then how do you,
Wait, you can give gifts up to $25 for tax purposes. You can write off gifts up to $25. But you're saying I can't just, I'm
Can't
not
give back-
paying, I'm not
RESPA
paying.
says you can't give anyone a thank you of over $150
So I could give them $149, or I could give them a $150 gift card to Daniels.
as a thank you, yeah.
After the fact.
Right, after the fact, I
But if
haven't
you
promised
have
that
a
I'm gonna-
pattern of giving everybody $150, you're gonna go to jail for paying for referrals. Jail's overstating it, video that's not actually true. You will get fined, and I think they can fine you with treble damages. But anyway, Aram,
so then how do you think your referrals?
you don't pay for referrals.
Right.
For the video, the question was, how do you pay for referrals?
No, how do you think
How do
that?
you think though?
Oh,
Yeah,
for a referral, here's what I do. $5 gift card to Starbucks.
Right.
When they give me the referral
Right.
as a thank you. Another one when they go into escrow, and a $50 one when they close. I'm cognizant of not going near the $150 limit. Right? Could you do it differently? Of course.
Invite them to your vacation home in Belize.
Yeah.
As long as you don't pay for the trip.
Let's talk reality
Right.
and
Let's
not
get back to
hypotheticals,
reality.
right? I'm not gonna give someone a dirigible. Okay, so everyone knows you can't do a campaign without running it by me, right? And can you stop me in the hallway and say, is this okay, and hand me a postcard? You could, but we're still gonna need the form and the postcard in a file, so we could show the DOL that it was reviewed and approved, okay? So
when you
help
talk
me
about
help you.
campaign, what costs as a campaign?
Any marketing campaign, any.
So our
So if you
pay,
use our
basically.
flyers, they are compliant. If you create your own flyers, you need to submit them to me. which you've been doing. Make sure that they have your logo on it. That's the only thing, right, on a flyer.
That's very important.
All right. The other resource for you is a 26-page document that the DOL put together that covers all things advertising. You can download it here. You should read it. As a professional in this industry, you owe it to yourself to know these rules. I thought about printing it, but 26
It's in
pages
A4?
times all
It's
the...
in A4?
Nope. That's why I made the DOL's URL up here. I love that you defaulted to V4 though, that's good. We're building habits.
Because everything should be.
Yeah.
You are in the future.
Photobomb.
I catched it.
All right. I think that's it. Any other questions?
So the Facebook ads that the company does for us, I don't believe it actually has HTA anywhere on them.
Is it done under your name?
One click away.
Then you're one click away.
So as long as you have the HTA stuff on the Facebook page that you're running the ad from, does that make sense for your
Yeah.
clients in like the about section or?
Let me show you. Because Justin's right, and I think you probably all sort of get this, but let's just pull up my Facebook page. My license actually hangs under MLP, but yours will say Hometown Advisor. And now, any post that I do, because you can click on my name and it'll take you here, is one click away from full disclosure.
Is that your profile or your page?
This is my profile.
Okay. Do you have a page that you can show that where, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's where you're gonna run ads out of your page, not out of your profile.
And what if it would say broker partner at, Ed Lane Team?
That's
But
not,
that
that's-
clicks, but if you click that, the page that it goes to is, this, your actual Facebook page for your business, and that has,
Then you're two
Ed
clicks.
Lane, well, but it says right there, it would say, Ed Lane Team at Hometown Advisor Real Estate. Then you're one click away, right? As long as you have that right there on the page.
Yeah, as long as it says Hometown Advisor Real Estate. I thought you were gonna say
Well,
that,
I'm saying if he's pulled up something.
I thought you were gonna say, it just said Ed Lane Team, and if you clicked on it, it took you to Hometown Advisor Real Estate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, on your personal profile.
That's not what you just said, though. What you just said was if it said the Ed Lane Team at Hometown Advisor Real Estate.
No, if it just said the Ed Lane Team, period, but when you clicked on that, on your personal profile, it took you to a page that said.
Are you
the
talking
Ed
about
Lane
like it's a
Team
hyperlink
at
to?
Hometown Advisor Real Estate. Then you're only one click
So-
away, because it's taking you a page that has.
I'm gonna say, because we've said it 2 or 3 different ways now, so I'm gonna say it one way so it's really crystal clear for everybody. If I run a Facebook post from my Ed Lane Team page, and I click on the Ed Lane Team and it takes me to a page like this that then says Hometown Advisor Real Estate, I'm A-okay. If I run a post that says the Ed Lane Team, and I click on it and it takes me to a page that says the Ed Lane Team, but if I click on that, it takes me to something that says Hometown Advisor, then I'm 2 clicks away from the Facebook post and I'm no longer in compliance. Does that make sense?
Mhm.